Well, I just had a thought. Wanted to talk to y'all for a second, man. And just wanted to give a little context and clarity, man, about a lot of statements that I've been making. So when I look at what I see online,
Hey, what's that? What is that?
and I understand why the fraudulent withholdings, no matter how much you believe that it's legit and it's your right, the fraudulent withholdings, I only noticed that there's a certain class of people that's doing it. Like, I could never be on TikTok for hours and hours and hours trying to convince people to buy my packages and my services and all that.
Why do you say that?
Because I have multiple things I'm doing and I got multiple streams of income.
You know I'm a hustler.
Doing lawsuits for people and advising people on the real tax law, real regulations. The group I teach, that's only one method, and I don't even count that as a stream of income. I'm not at a desperate state in life. Fraudulently put withholdings on a 1099B just so I can live the life that I normally can't live, or have the type of money that I normally wouldn't be able to have in real life on a yearly basis. Like, a lot of these people's fraudulent refunds, that it's not impressing me because I do that in real life.
No cap.
So when I look at it from that standpoint, and then I look at the real tax laws and regulations, I just don't buy it.
Not today. Not today.
I don't care if you show me a check, because if you're thinking that your assets was monetized, or the modern money mechanics gives you the ability to do it. Number one, modern money mechanics is not law. It's not been acted into law by Congress.
These guys are crazy, man.
No matter what you think about your assets at the bank, refunds from the IRS is always going to come back to overpayment of taxes.
Duh.
I see no relation on how you are transferring what you read in the modern money mechanics as to income taxes paid.
Excuse you?
If it was a real withholding, you were supposed to get the 1099 directly from them.
Don't you get it?
Like, let's say Bank of America. You get a withholding statement from Bank of America saying that they withheld over $400,000 from you. Number one, Bank of America would never withhold that amount from you.
This has never happened in our country before. There's never been anything like this.
If you did get a 1099B, that means that you invested through their brokerage firm, Merrill Lynch. Securities, bonds, stocks, etc. And it was a short sale. There's never going to be the date acquired the beginning of the year and the date sold at the end of the year. Oh! It's like you buying Bitcoin. You get about 50 1099Bs for it. Bank of America does not send 1099B state tax statements in Bank of America's name. It's going to come in Merrill Lynch's name. Merrill Lynch is the brokerage firm for Bank of America. Our 1099 statements from Bank of America / Merrill Lynch look very different from a lot of people's 1099Bs from Bank of America. They don't send them like that. And it's never going to be in Bank of America's name. Withholding on a 1099, it only applies to backup withholding. They don't even read the instructions to the forms that they're filling out. Someone tells them what they want to hear, promise them a large refund, and the people that bite on that are mostly people that are at or below the poverty line.
And that's a fact.
Like, if you're not used to seeing $200,000 a year in real life, I see why you would do these fraudulent withholdings. I see why you would be online all day, every day. I see why you would show this and show that. Look, it's a success. But if you actually had motion in real life, you wouldn't have the time to be on social media trying to convince people that you know the right way so they can buy it.
Hell no.
You'll be busy in the real world. You'll be out there making moves. Now, for those of you who solely are content creators, and that's your job, a full-time content creator, I see why you stream. That's your job. But from what I see online regarding IRS taxes and the government, I've noticed that whatever they're saying is always in contrast to what the regulations and the statutes say.
That doesn't make any sense.
Why are you filling out those same tax forms that are governed by the same regulations that you feel don't apply to you? See, just because you believe the regulations don't apply to you does not mean those tax forms are not going to be governed by those same regulations. So when I start to see the landscape, it's like, man, people, y'all need to just get out more, man. I don't know, but I know people who are self-sufficient, they don't fall into these traps. It is virtually unheard of to see large withholdings on a 1099-B. The only way to be withholding income on a 1099-B is if the payer asks you for your EIN and you refuse to give it to them.
That's not really what I want to hear.
The amount that you would pay the recipient, you're going to withhold 24% of that and send it to the IRS. So by y'all saying that you got 1099-B statements from these banks, that means the bank asks you for your EIN, you refuse to give it to them, now they're withholding a portion of the payment. The problem is the banks are never going to send you a 1099 statement based on your deposits at the bank.
When does that happen? Never.
And they're never going to send you a 1099-B with large withholdings because 1099-Bs, like I said, you bought today, you traded 2 days later. You bought today, you sold today. When I start to see people use these forms in manners and ways that are totally outside any comprehension, and they slip through the cracks and get a check, that still doesn't move me because I know the IRS asks for it back.
I have to speak the truth.
I know they updated the account after the check. They usually, sometimes when you slip through the cracks, they check it afterward. Want to know why? Because when they give you that check from the 1099-B and you file that 1099-B and put the payer's name as the bank and put your name as the recipient and you send that to the IRS and then you send your copy of it, the IRS going to be like, all right, based on this 1099, they withheld this, boom. The IRS is going to send you the refund off the break. They're not going to check or go pull from them because once they send you the refund, they're going to pull from Bank of America's account. Bank of America's going to be like, we ain't never withhold this amount.
I didn't.
And that's when the IRS is going to be like, let me get that back.
I need it back.
See, I don't have to do that to get these type of funds. You can say whatever you want about me. One thing you're never going to say, can never say about me, is I'm relying on some secret account or some secret pseudo law loopholes to live the life that I normally cannot live every day.
Get a job.
So I just see things from a totally different level. I'm never going to pursue or advocate anyone to pursue a course of action when I know throughout the history of these movements, the courts have rejected them time and time again.
That's not an option for me.
They've been denied. They've been classified by the FBI. It's just all bad.
It's all bad news.
The fact that you see it a totally different way does not mean the courts are going to see it the same way.
That sounds like something a thug would do.
What I believe, what you believe, doesn't matter. It's what does the courts and these government agencies recognize.
It don't even matter. It don't even matter.
I don't care about the pseudo law or the loopholes or you got the intricacies of trust law. I don't even care about that. Want to know why? Because the trust law is only as it is applied by probate court, judges, and all this. So a lot of you people that's talking about you have an estate, you're the beneficiary of the estate. Well, number one, beneficiaries don't file tax returns. Oh, hey. The trustees files the tax returns.
You know, I didn't think to ask.
How can you be the beneficiary, the executor, the grantor, grantee?
I feel so lost.
Like, you're trying to hold so many offices and you don't even know what these offices curtail. What assets are you really putting into the trust that is recognized?
I'm not really seeing much of anything, to be honest.
Because most companies, when they put assets in the trust, they are putting income producing assets in the trust. What are you throwing in the trust? Your court case? What are you throwing in the trust? Your BC? Your SSN? Are you throwing any receivables in the trust? Probably don't know what that is.
You've just lost me.
Like, I don't know why people look at practical law and run from it when it's the same practical laws that these professionals and the corporations use to win all the time.
Because that's the very definition of winning.
Look at the success rates from professional lawyers and look at the success rates from these social media gurus.
You are no match for my style.
Just look at it. Like, all this money ain't debt, money ain't real, money ain't that. Who? Like, what does that mean?
They don't really know.
And if that's the case, what do you pay your, like, it just doesn't make sense.
I'm so confused.
I believe a lot of you all know what I'm saying. You tried a few things in the past. You have not been consistent with your success. You just don't like what I'm saying because what I'm saying is going against what you believe.
Believe it!
And belief systems trump facts in most people's minds. You can believe whatever you want. And you can argue me down all you want. But ask yourself, when you are in front of a judge, what is the judge going to say? When you're submitting these claims to these government agencies, what are they going to say? I really can't take the presentment of a check from the IRS.
But it's not enough.
Because I would have to get the contacts and see what you filed, and I would research the regulations based on what you filed. And then I'll realize that, oh, you did one of these fraudulent returns, you slid through the cracks, the IRS is going to catch it. They always catch it. And you know what's crazy? A person that got indicted back in 2024, last year, for fraudulent checks they received from the government from their 1099 filings.
I can feel your desperation.
You know, they got those checks 2014, 15, 16. They got indicted in 2024 for it.
Here comes trouble.
So, up until the time they got indicted in 2024, I guarantee that the IRS asked for those checks back and they refused to give it.
Just give me my money.
Want to know why they didn't give it back? It's the poverty mindset.
I know you're down on your luck, but someone once told me being poor is a choice, so stop.
Stop being poor.
It's the same money that they'll say, money ain't shit, money ain't got no value, but they sure don't mind taking yours.
Yay! Yes, cause money.
For their seminars, their services. They sure don't mind taking that same money. If they're going to give you a bill of exchange to pay your bills with, why can't they accept your bill of exchange as payment?
I got you.
So it's to the point where I'm just too grown to play along with y'all, play these stupid games with y'all. This is why, like, if I decide to come on the panel, I'm only talking practical law. I'm not talking no secret trust law. I ain't talking no BC law. I ain't talking no Sestakey V Act. I ain't talking about dead, lost at sea. I ain't talking about that 1666 Act that has no applicability in the United States. I'm not talking about no national currency. I ain't talking about none of that.
There are no stupid questions, just stupid people.
Practical, regular, everyday law and regulation. All those pseudo laws and legal mumbo jumbo, I don't have time for it. I really don't. So maybe I'm missing something and y'all can let me know in the comments what I'm missing.
Because I am not.
But only thing I gotta say, checks don't move me unless I know the context of it. And if you got any check from any withholding on any 1099B that's outside the scope of what the regulations state when you were supposed to withhold, I don't even care about your check because I know they've already asked for it back or they're going to ask for it back.
No, you know what? You gonna get the money back, bro. I don't know if you know this or not, but you gonna get the money back.
We want
get the money back.
It's just these spaces are so saturated with the soft sits and the Moorish Americans. They're parasites to the systems.
Me scammed. That's impossible.
They don't want to work. They don't want to get a real job.
You're gonna have to find something better to do with your time.
They have no real motion in real life.
Nothing.
They want to scheme, don't want to be accountability, don't want to pay a bill, they don't want to do nothing. Now I understand who wants to pay a bill in real life. I get it in that context, but like your whole intent is just to try to get out of something. Get around accountability. Always trying to find some loopholes. They're disingenuous from the beginning. Their intentions are not pure. And I don't care just because you say the Most High's name or this is God's work. No, you're doing the work of the devil. I don't want to be associated with these people. I don't care. You can try to prove your point to me.
I don't care.
I'm not the one who you have to convince. You have to convince that federal judge.
All right, let's see what the judges think.
That one day you're going to be in front of. You're going to have to convince the system that's already designated as fraudulent, false. Don't try to convince me because you're not going to change my mind. And there is nothing that you could say or show me that's going to change my mind. Ladies and gentlemen, catch y'all later.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up out of your sleep, wake up out of your sleep, wake up, I command you in the name of Jesus, wake up.